Well, good evening, listeners of the J Train. You are with KZUM 89.3 on your FM radio dial and, of course, all around the world at www.kzum.org. This is the second interview for the Jazz in June concert series, and I'm so excited to present one of those Jazz in June artists, Valerie Capers. She's joining me on the phone line in New York City. Valerie, thank you so much.
Hey, Jesse, it's fun. It's wonderful to be able to talk to you, and so exciting to be a part of the Jazz in June series. They have quite a reputation as being very special, and I have wanted for years to have the opportunity to come and play in that series, and I'm very excited about it.
That's wonderful, Valerie. We're very happy to have you here. And I was just looking over your bio, and I wanted to start right in with something that I thought was extremely, well, there's a lot of fascinating things to your bio. Let me put it that way. But this one, I think I least expected it, that you've already had some experience in the great state of Nebraska, and you had some experiences at Doane College. Can you talk about that?
Yes, I certainly would love to talk about that. It's really something. I have a colleague who was, I was the chairman of the Department of Music and Art at the Bronx Community College, which is part of the City University colleges. And anyway, she has a friend who teaches at Doane, and her friend happened to tell Jay Gilbert about me, and he is in the music department. He is the chairman of the music department, and he got interested and called me on his own and invited me to come down to Doane. Now, I've been to Doane maybe 4 or 5 times because of Jay's invitation. So I've been there several times as artist in resident. My entire quintet was there one year as artist in resident. John and I were there another time. He's called us to do a special homecoming weekend, which was an absolute ball. It was wonderful. And we and as a result of my relationship and association with Jay Gilbert and Doane College, I received an honorary doctorate, and that was the thrill of my life.
Yes, by the way, congratulations on receiving that. I saw that in your bio, and
oh, thank you.
Clearly you must have left a good impression because you've been invited back to our great state.
Oh, absolutely, several times, but I've loved it. It's been just a wonderful experience every single time I've been there.
So, Valerie, I wanted to talk about something that I noticed in reading over the chronology of your career, that jazz education, it's so apparent that it's a very key part of the lifeblood that sustained your career.
You're absolutely right. I don't think I've had anybody who has interviewed me or asked me any questions about it who's expressed it as well as you have. Really, because jazz education was a double-edged sword for me, because I graduated from the Juilliard School of Music playing Eurocentric music, classical music. I had a younger brother who since passed away, who was a wonderful saxophonist, a wonderful jazz musician, and he got fired and inspired in high school, at the High School of Music and Art, as a teenager in playing jazz. And sometimes, you know how brothers will wolf at their sisters and all, and he would often say to me, you play classical music, but you're an African-American woman, and you do have, some abilities and so forth, and I think that you should direct some of your energies and some of your talents at music that reflects your heritage and all. So, and I said, yeah, blah, blah. But we got into all of that, and the interesting thing about it is that the jazz education and my fervor for doing it has been a double-edged sword in many ways, because I've spent my life and my career in education, which I've really done very well with. I feel that that's a special calling for me. And in my, I was like, in my late teens and early 20s trying to play jazz. And I lived in a neighborhood in the South Bronx where these guys my age and younger were playing jazz, and I was trying to pick up on it, and I really wasn't very good at the time, and I couldn't get anybody to play with me. But through a whole series of things, which I won't even bore you with right now, I realized I had to, if I was going to really get into playing jazz, that maybe I would have to put Beethoven and Bach down for a bit and see what I could do about learning to play a blues and all of those things. And I did, and it was a struggle. And on the one hand, the struggles and the problems I had in being able to, I would say, psychologically, artistically, to be able to play jazz were quite dramatic for me. And I've always had a mind that's been disciplined and so forth and so on. And because of that, I came up with ideas and approaches that I know that I formulated for myself that I thought would help other students. And indeed, it has.
And once again, if you're just joining me, I'm talking with jazz pianist Valerie Capers, and Miss Capers will be at Jazz in June at the Sheldon Museum at 12th and R Streets in Lincoln, Nebraska on the evening of Tuesday, June the 11th.
That's right.
And it's really a fantastic venue, and they're doing a bunch of things as well to commemorate the 40th anniversary of Sheldon. So it should be a really good series overall. Valerie, I also wanted to ask you something that this question arrived at me after just some thought and pondering. One of the things that we haven't talked about yet is that you are blind.
Yes.
And I was thinking about it of the paradox of an unlimited limitation, and that is given what many people would see on the surface as an obvious limitation, you've turned it into something pretty remarkable over the course of your career. And I'm wondering, how do you think your unique circumstances in life have perhaps benefited you?
Gosh, Jesse, that's a heavy question.
I'm sorry.
Let me see how I can kind of work this out. I think, well, first of all, being blind is not necessarily the thing that would give me the passion and the dedication that one would have to be a musician to play, whether it was Beethoven or whether it was Thelonious Monk or anything. I do know, for example, that when I lost my sight at 6 through an illness, and I wound up as I was in the Children's Hospital of Columbia Presbyterian in New York City, and they advised my parents to send me to the New York Institute for the Education of the Blind, which is located in the Bronx. And they told my parents, who were devastated when I lost my sight, that you have a daughter who can get an education and who can do well, and so forth and so on. And so I can tell you, number one, going to the Institute for the Blind, I received an education that my mother and father could never have afforded to do if they had to pay for such an education. It was of the highest quality. I would say that I had always loved music. My dad was a stride piano player. He played wonderful swing piano and was a dear close friend of Fats Wallace. And I grew up in a household. Where I heard everything from, and I'm going to date myself on this, I'll tell you this, but that's okay. Where I heard everything from Bing Crosby and Connie Boswell and the Andrews Sisters to Teddy Wilson and Duke Ellington and Ella Fitzgerald and Eckstein, Billy Eckstein, and just so many art. And when I came out of the hospital and I came back home to live with my parents and my little brother, I just seemed to gravitate to the piano. I enjoyed picking up melodies. I had a good ear, but so I would say that. Maybe being blind and gravitating to music is not so much unique. I think that the gravitating to the music is something that was much more profound, inspirational, a sort of divine thing that happened. You know, the blindness really didn't stay in the way of being able to be a good musician.
Once again, I'm talking with jazz piano player Valerie Capers on the J Train, and she'll be in Lincoln on June the 11th, which is a Tuesday evening, and that'll be week 2 as part of Sheldon's Jazz in June concert series. Valerie, you did an excellent job on that somewhat philosophical curveball. So I think I'll offer maybe a slider and just ask, who will you be bringing to Lincoln as part of your ensemble, and can you talk a little bit about them?
Oh, yes. As a matter of fact, I just got back from a rehearsal a little while ago, and I'm going to be bringing with me my partner and colleague over many years, about 28 years now, a remarkable bass player, John Robinson. And then I have a new member of my group, Doug Richardson, and he's the drummer. The saxophone player is someone that I will be working with for the first time. We rehearsed, as I said, tonight. I've known him for a while, and a few weeks ago, Dexter Gordon's widow had invited me down to a special 90th birthday tribute they had at the Dizzy Club.
Wow.
And Jerry Weldon is his name, his saxophone player, and he played there, and he was so good. And he played with a couple of my other dear friends, like Paquito Rivera, for example. And so Jerry was so good, and I said to Jerry, I said, something happened and my saxophone player can't go with me to the Jazz in June. Would you like to do it? He said he would love to. So it's going to be Jerry Weldon on saxophone, tenor saxophone, John Robinson on bass, Doug Richardson on drums, and myself, piano and vocals.
Okay, the Valerie Capers Quartet will be at Jazz in June. How exciting.
Oh, well, as I said, we are really looking forward to it.
Valerie, I wanted to close with one final question, and that is, of course, to direct some of my listeners to appropriate websites or other places where they can go to get more information about you.
Oh, okay. Well, let me tell you, I'm not. Well, let me say this in a positive way. There's always been a constant battle between me and computers. I'm coming through something very frightening recently. You wouldn't believe it. People say, "I can't believe this happened to you." I've been without a computer for almost 8 months. And not even my own email address, and it's just been something to try to conduct business and to work with friends who would take messages, who would do so forth and so on. But I do have a website, and the website is ValerieCapers.com. Simple as that.
And
the web
Capers
Valerie
is
Capers at CAPERS, VALERIE, Valerie Capers, CAPERS.com. And at that website, there are sound bites from recordings. There are videos and stills of workshops that I've had all over. In Austria, for example, in Europe, in the Caribbean, in Salt Lake City, in Utah, all over the place, and I think some things about my compositions and arrangements and things, so they can get some information for me there. And of course, my current email address, which is ValCapMusic. It's taking the first 3 letters of my first name and the first 3 letters of my last name, VALCAP and then Valcap MUSIC. I always say VALCAPMUSIC, and so Valcap Music in lowercase at gmail.com.
Well, there you have it, listeners. You have all kinds of different resources now to check out more about Valerie Capers and her music. And I just wanted to say personally, Valerie, thank you so much. This has been such a
Thank you, Jeff.
Insightful, and you've been so effervescent on the phone this evening.
Oh, thank you. Well, it's wonderful to talk to you. And I hope I'll have a chance to meet you. I don't mean to put you on the spot about anything about whether you're going to get there or not. I know people have schedules and can do this and can do that and can't do this or that, as the case may be. But I hope I'll have an opportunity to meet you.
Thanks. Yes, I hope so too. And I'll plan to be there, as will many others. And we'll see you on June the 11th.
You bet. Be wonderful. Thank you so much. This was delightful speaking with you.
Thank you.
Tell him thanks next time you see that guy, for he's the man who taught me how to live. He's the man who taught me where to give my heart, and taught me what it means to give. Tell him